All right, let's start this session. So, hello everyone. Thank you all for joining. My name is Bart Verheke. I'm one of the co-founders of Eniris, and today we are going to host this session together with POWEROAD, with my co-host Jelle de Krane. He is from GridSync. He is one of the importers of POWEROAD, and we will talk you today about the Smart One solution, the energy management solution in combination with the battery energy storage systems of PowerRoad, how these two systems can work together, how we can tailor those solutions to the different energy markets, different countries. Um, from my side, I will do the first part. But whenever there are questions during the presentation, please feel free to reach out. We have a dedicated email address, webinar@eniris.com. You can also scan this QR code. So whenever there are questions, we will answer them after our sessions. All right. So to start with my part of the session, so I am Bart Verheke. I'm one of the co-founders of Eniris. With Eniris, we started in 2018 our company, building our product Eniris BMS first. That was for building, management, and monitoring. In 2020, we started actually with developing SmartGrid One. SmartGrid One is our energy management system. And as of today, we are headquartered in Belgium, in the city of Ghent, but have also offices around Europe, four offices, one in the Netherlands, in Switzerland, Sweden, and in Germany. Um, but we operate all over Europe and also outside Europe, with especially with our product SmartGrid One, the energy management system. We have as of today more than 135,000 residential end customers and around 30,200 CNI end customers. But we always work in combination with distributors and installers, so we never approach the end customers directly. We always rely on our partners, since the EMS is, of course, only one part of a total installation, but it's one of the more crucial parts as well, since it comes down to revenue, acting on different energy markets, maintaining self-consumption, and all these other modes, which I will later fully describe. Um, SmartGrid One is a popular product and has also a lot of publicity. Received a lot of awards as well. So we won more recently the Best Innovation Award, the Solar Impulse Award. Um, so yeah, but why? Maybe the first question we should ask ourselves: why should we need to have this energy management system? Well, we have three main reasons. One is where you buy a battery energy storage system, you typically want to have a revenue model, right? And especially in Europe, the difficulty is you have many energy markets. You have ancillary markets, imbalance markets, intraday markets, the ahead markets. So, and some of these markets are easy to access. You can access them yourself. Some others, you really need to have a man in the middle. You need to have a trader. Need to have a BSP, BRP, and that's one of our strengths. So we can unlock new energy markets for your installation. Um, and we are not the trader ourselves. We are not the energy company ourselves. We are not the BSP, the BRP. So we are independent. We are neutral in this, agnostic in this. And our goal is to be the most open EMS system. And by this, I mean, it doesn't really matter which energy supplier you have in mind. We are the ones who are enabling you to get in touch with this energy supplier and to have an integration with this energy supplier. We also The second important topic is, of course, we can control many assets at the same time in parallel. So it's not only limited to battery systems or one battery system. It could be many battery systems. It could be systems from different brands. So it's agnostic as well. It could be a charging station, a heat pump, a boiler. So also a genset, for example. And the third item is, of course, you want to have a future-proof system. So as of today, maybe there are some regulations in place in your country, which will eventually change. Well, we are also the ones who will change then our software, and you will also get this update to be compliant with this regulation, to also benefit from this new and updated regulation. Um, Regulations is one thing, could be also the case that maybe there is a new energy technique introduced, or there is a new brand in the market. Well, we make sure that you are compatible with that brand. Our system, our energy management system, is not only meant for the CNI market or the utility market. We have also our system for the residential market. It's not always in the same form factor. Um, so typically you will see this device in the market, but we have also smaller devices, more lightweight devices. But primarily, I'm going to talk about this device. It's the Pro, the Market One Pro device. And of course, the focus of this presentation is more oriented, is almost oriented towards CNI and utility. So I will mainly talk about this Market One Pro. Be also aware that we don't really need always hardware. We have also cloud solution. It's basically the software that is running on this Market One Pro controller that is running then on the server. But you really need to see this in the perspective where it's typically a residential setting with lots of smaller batteries. So I'm not going um, to tap in that topic right now. As previously mentioned, SmartGrid 1 is, we claim, the most open EMS. The reason is we have more than 250 device integrations, which is a lot, and that's almost only protocol integration. So that means you can also multiply it with the different types of devices which use the same protocol. And of course, POWEROAD is standing out in this list. It's a well-known integration for us. It's also a collaboration in which we have like direct contact with the engineers of POWEROAD. We have good relationship as well with GridSync, Jelle de Krane. So it's a tested system, and it's a system from where POWEROAD gives us a lot of feedback. But it's not the only brand, of course, and I think that's also the strength. So if you would like to sell in the future a POWEROAD system, but there is, for example, an existing SMA system, let's say it's a solar system, a PV installation, then of course we are fully capable of combining the two and making sure that your POWEROAD BESS can also operate all together along with SMA. For a full list, most definitely check out our documentation page. I can quickly show that to you. So on our documentation page, it's the URL is docs.eniris.io. You will find lots of integrations. You can just freely search for any given brand. But more specifically, you will also find information about POWEROAD, which device types are compatible, how you do the interfacing. But I will talk to you later about this interfacing. Okay, so another topic is, it was the first topic, is the access to the energy market. Well, we have a lot of access to these energy markets. So when it comes down to day ahead trading, intraday trading, imbalance markets, ancillary services, we do put day ahead trading, it's quite easy. Of course, we have access to, for example, an Apex spot or a Nord Pool, and we can do the trading on ourselves. But then when it comes down to the other markets, we rely fully on different traders, different BSPs, BRPs. You can see here like a short list of these partners, and they operate across Europe. These partners, so that this should give you like in a way a full coverage of Europe. And if it's not yet on the list, you can check the full list on our docs page. If it's not yet on the list, your energy trader or energy company, just reach out to us, and we will do the integration for you. Um, when it comes down to regulations, there are specific region-specific solutions that you need, and that's also one of the main reasons our partners, our installers, choose to work with us. Um, let's talk about, for example, the situation in Belgium, where you need to have telecontrol interfacing from with Fluvius or Reza. When we're talking about Switzerland, you typically will hear about SDL, so access to ancillary markets, CBC contract in the Netherlands, IZA regler in Germany. All these kinds of differences, we have implemented them, or we have implemented an integration through a partner to implement this specific the specific country regulation. So, and that's also like the future proofness of our system is whenever a new regulation pops up, we will be in the first place to actually act on that. Right. So, but let's focus on the EMS and go one step down. Let's zoom in on the inner workings of our energy management system. Um, it's actually interesting to know that everything that the EMS is doing is not related to a server on which the computationing is done. So everything is locally executed. So the whole algorithm, the forecasting based on AI, that is done locally. And that should give you a pretty good position, right? Since the system can operate independently of the internet, although you need to have the internet, of course, for your weather forecasts and your price data. But aside from this, the system will operate on its own. And that gives also the system some reaction speed, which is high and is high enough for the different ancillary markets. So this system is and has undergo pre-qualifications in certain energy markets where it was tested on the reaction speed. Um, and so it's managing controlling multiple assets in parallel, although maintaining the reaction speed, although also um, doing its AI forecast. It's all happening at the same time on this device, and that's one of its strengths. So to focus on where does the AI happen? Well, the AI is just purely for forecasting. We only rely for forecasting on the AI, and for the rest of the system, we have an algorithm which we can explain ourselves. Although it's already a difficulty, of course, taking much decisions in a short time frame, but at least it's a deterministic algorithm. So, and in this deterministic algorithm, we take into account this forecast, also the energy market signals or the energy market prices, our devices, and user input. And then it will execute on those inputs. So if we zoom in on the AI forecasting is taking in consideration the weather data, think about irradiation as well, and historical data, grid data. And based on this, we make a planning. We plan on the grid level how consumption and injection would look like. And based on this, we then further feed this to our algorithm, and the algorithm will then decide on how to charge, for example, my battery system. So we have the actual values of the battery system till right now, and then we make also a planning. So we make a forecast on how the asset will behave, and this is then based on grid level, the AI forecasts. So the system, as mentioned previously, is not able to control battery systems. It's also able to do EV, to control EV charging stations, heat pumps, and PV installations. But what are the different control modes? Well, first of all, we can do peak shaving. It's one of the basic functionalities. Um, it's also maintaining your grid connection, the limits of your grid connection in terms of import and export. We can do also curtailment for your PV installation. So think about a zero feed-in limit. When there would be a zero feed-in limit, we will try our best to preserve self-consumption, but to actually achieve a zero net feed-in. We will also be able to do optimization on the self-consumption, even though you are working with, for example, energy prices. So the system, let's say the system is running on the day ahead market. Um, when there would be, like, for example, a negative energy price, or there is a positive energy price independently, we also will look at the self-consumption and consider this as a zero cost. So self-consumption will be always our prio, and then we look at the energy market prices. We can also do load balancing and, yeah, as mentioned before, zero export. It's nice that, of course, the device can also be white labeled. So for you as an installer or distributor, um, you can also white label this device to give your customers a more unique experience. Um, it is not only limited to the device on which your logo can be printed, but could be also in the app. And since we started in 2018 with our company doing monitoring activities, we still have a monitoring platform, but we use it also more and more for the Smart One device. So you have a portfolio solution to monitor all your Smart One devices. And more recently, this will be introduced in a few weeks. We have also an alerting system in which you can select multiple EMS systems and receive alerts for your portfolio or on asset level. Yeah, to also push on the O&M, the operations and maintenance side of your activities. So how does the typical setup look like? We always need, of course, a grid meter. So because, yeah, we need to have measurements of the import and export power. We then have the POWEROAD battery system, and probably also some charging stations, PV installations, and maybe some heat pumps and air conditioning. I will later give you a small demo about this. But just as a reminder, whenever there are questions, please feel free to reach out over this email address, webinar@eniris.com. Okay, so I will right now zoom in on one of the installations. I will give you a small demo. Okay, so in front of you, you have this interface. It's the commissioning interface. This is, it's maybe a boring interface. I would rather say it's a more technical interface, not the interface that a customer will see, but it is a quite useful interface since typically when you will set up the energy management system, there is this setup wizard. So step by step, you're guided through all the parameters we require you to fill in. So one of them is, of course, the grid limits, and then adding some assets, for example, your battery system, and then also checking your electrical diagram. But I will do this myself. I will just go to the device section. And in this device section, as you can see over here, we have already our POWEROAD system. You can see it is successfully connected. There is also this Phoenix energy meter, which is representing then the grid, and there is this older system of SMA, which also needed to be included. But how do you actually achieve connecting to these devices? Well, you have this wizard, and with this wizard, you can select one of the assets you would like to connect with. I'm going with the battery system, and then you have a long list of battery systems we support. But luckily, we have this search function, so I can just look for the POWEROAD. Oh, so there it is. And as you can see, we support the Modbus TCP interface. So when clicking next, you will be asked then which device model would you like to use. There are different models. If you hover over, you can see sometimes more information about the protocol in depth. And that's also the place where I would recommend you to also visit our documentation page, just to check on the device types which we support, the variants. You can see once again that we support Modbus TCP and RS-485. Well, there's a warning about the RS-485 interface. There are some things you need to do, and I think it has to do something with the software version. So just in case, always check this documentation page. So when I would then select one of these types and I click on next, it will scan for the devices. And eventually, so you end up with you being connected to these POWEROAD systems. Of course, if you also would like to connect with an energy meter, you can just select one of the energy meters from the list and also follow the same procedure, but also mind our documentation page. So whenever every asset is connected, you will see whether things are successful or not, whether the communication is maybe a bit slow. It's not always like it's not like a problem really if the communication is slow. It is just as long as the battery is responding fast enough, and if you are, for example, on the ancillary market, that is it's actually what you're looking at, right? An asset that is fast responding to an ancillary market. If it's not the ancillary market, you really don't have to mind this. There is this groups tab, and under the groups tab, you will see the electrical diagram of your system, which is here like in a quite extensive list. When you would like to do some changes in this list, there is this possibility of changing that. Well, it's all written down also in our documentation page, and we have also training sessions online where we tell you how to do this setup or how to do changes in this setup. I'm going then to the settings page. The settings page is quite important since your first priority is, of course, maintaining the grid limits. And here you need to enter these grid limits. You have the import power and export power for your system. And it will always make sure, the system will always make sure to maintain these limits, of course. Then second is on this page, you need to say how the devices should behave. So for my storage devices, I can go with the self-consumption optimization. That's one of the modes you can pick. But you can also say, I would like to do cost optimization. When I would do cost optimization, I'm looking at the day-ahead market. And so whenever there is in the day-ahead market this opportunity where the prices are above this 4 cents per kilowatt hour threshold, then the system will consider, not per se that it will act on this, but it will consider, given also your energy consumption forecast, to trade to charge or discharge your battery system. There are also some specific modes, sub-modes you can activate. For example, always charge the excess PV, for example, and avoid selling PV energy to the grid, and allow energy trading. In some countries, you're not allowed to trade back to the grid the energy that was stored from the grid. Another mode, and of course, in the cost optimization mode, as mentioned previously, the self-consumption will be considered as a zero cost per kilowatt hour. We have also the dedicated peak shaving mode. But what is interesting about the peak shaving mode is we can also now combine two modes. So, for example, you would like to reserve for your battery system 50% for peak shaving. Well, that's possible. You can also do, aside from peak shaving, then, for example, your cost optimization. So in my case, I have here like a 40% reserved for the battery system to do peak shaving, and then the other 60% goes to trading with the energy market. So this is basically virtually splitting up your battery system. And then we have also this mode where you can control the battery system through an API. Um, I will later make a deep dive on this topic. For your production devices, you have similar modes. I'm not going into all of these topics right now, but yeah, for every asset, you need to set these modes. So when it comes down to energy markets, it is actually good to consider this portfolio of energy traders. So we have many traders across Europe, and it is just basically settling a contract with one of them. Let's say we would like to go with Fusebox. If you would like to go with Fusebox as a trader, it is just entering. It's always documented on our docs, of course, but it is typically then entering some credentials from the trader in order to start trading with the asset. And then the asset will always look for set points from the trader, from the energy company, and consider this as their second priority. It will first, of course, maintain the grid limits, then second, follow the set points of the trader, and then third, if the set points of the trader are not coming through, then it will fall back to the modes defined over here in this section. So the EMS is also working as a fallback, has also its fallback mechanism when the energy trader is failing on sending set points. Okay, so this was quite technical. The question is, of course, then how does it look for an end customer? For an end customer, you will have the app. So in front of me, I have the app. And in the app, you can see, for example, your battery system. You can see the state of charge. You can see how the actual power is. Because this is a system where a trader is acting on the system, you won't see the predicted state of charge. But would I do, for example, trading myself on the day ahead market, then I would see also the forecasted behavior of this battery system. But now the battery system is just listening to a trader. Would I click on the grid? Then I would see also your historical behavior, and then, but here also the trader is also acting. You would also see your forecasted behavior on your consumption. Okay, so that's basically what the customer can see. It's quite, of course, it's minimal in a way that a customer doesn't have like all the technical details which an installer requires. For this, we have, aside from the app, also SmartGetX. And a SmartGetX environment, an installer can see way more. But for the customer, it's actually nice to see these energy flows, to see these assets interacting with each other. And at least you also see how the assets are behaving in a really easy way. If I would go to the planning, here you can see again how my system was behaving with or without guidance of the EMS system. That's that's actually also nice. So if we would not act on this device, if we would not act with our EMS system, then you would also see the curve. But acting on this asset, it is here like through a trader, you can actually see how the trader is impacting the system. And underneath, you have also the day ahead prices as a reference. Okay, that's basically in a nutshell it. I won't go into the topic of SmartGetX since it would take us too long for that topic to cover, but at least you have an idea of how the system works, the EMS system works, and also how it works in combination with POWEROAD. And yeah, here you had like a good use case of one of the systems of GridSync, the importer of POWEROAD. to make it a bit more visual to you and a bit more hands-on. So once again, if there are questions, reach out to us over this email address. But now I will, yeah, give the word to Jelle de Krane. So he will do his part and will focus on the system, the POWEROAD systems.
Okay. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. My name is Jelle de Krane from GridSync. We are the importer of POWEROAD energy storage systems in Belgium. Over the next part of this session, we want to give you a clear and practical view on POWEROAD as a company, why battery energy storage is becoming a key building block of the European energy system, and how these solutions are already being deployed in real commercial and industrial products across Europe. Here you see the structure of today's presentation. First, we will briefly introduce POWEROAD as a company and technology provider. Then we will zoom in on why battery energy storage systems are becoming increasingly important in today's energy market. And finally, we will walk you through POWEROAD's product portfolio and proven track record on the field. Let's start with the first section of the presentation, where we introduce POWEROAD as a company and explain what differentiates them in energy storage markets. POWEROAD is a technology-driven energy storage company with more than 25 years of experience in the battery industry. What is important to understand is that POWEROAD is not simply assembling systems from third-party components. The company invests heavily in research and development and focuses strongly on system safety, performance optimization, and long-term reliability. This timeline shows the steady and structured development of POWEROAD over the years. Starting in 2001, the company evolved from traditional battery technologies to lithium-ion batteries and later to complete energy storage systems. Since 2019, POWEROAD has been supplying international markets, including Europe, with a strong acceleration in product development and system integration in recent years. This slide highlights some key figures that underline POWEROAD's experience and scale. With more than 25 years in the battery industry, over 500 employees, and several dedicated R&D centers, POWEROAD has built a strong technological foundation. More than 600 CNI projects have already been installed, which is an important signal of maturity and reliability. POWEROAD offers a complete and well-structured product portfolio. This includes residential systems, commercial and industrial energy storage solutions, and large containerized systems for utility scale products. Both air-cooled and liquid-cooled technologies are available, allowing us to select the optimal solution depending on the application, site conditions, and operational requirements. Although POWEROAD is originated in China, the company has built a strong global footprint. In Europe, POWEROAD GmbH in Germany acts as the European headquarters. For the Belgian market specifically, a local warehouse ensures shorter delivery times, easier logistics, and faster response in case of service or support needs. One of POWEROAD's key differentiators is vertical integration. POWEROAD develops its own BMS, battery models, PCS, and system-level controls. By controlling the full value chain, the company reduces integration risks, improves system optimization, and takes full responsibility for performance and safety. Sustainability is an integral part of POWEROAD's strategy. The company's ESG practices are independently certified by Bureau Veritas and cover environmental stewardship, social responsibility, and governance. For European customers and project developers, these certifications are increasingly important when it comes to financing, compliance, and long-term partnerships. POWEROAD provides transparent and certified carbon footprint data according to ISO standards. This allows customers to better understand the environmental impact of their projects and support compliance with European sustainability and reporting requirements, which are becoming stricter year after year. PowerOad delivers more than just energy storage hardware. The company supports customers throughout the entire project lifecycle, from pre-sales consultation and system design to commissioning, training, and long-term technical support. This end-to-end approach significantly reduces project risk and complexity. Here you can see some pictures of on-site assistance for installation and commissioning. PowerOad provides customer training on installation, testing, and maintenance. And at the right, we see a picture of a third-party ESS for an European customer that didn't work when he arrived in Belgium. And PowerOad helped us with fitting new BMS systems for this project. So PowerOad renewed this system and got it to work properly. For energy storage projects, local support is essential. With PowerOad GmbH in Germany and the warehouse located in Belgium, customers benefit from faster response time, local spare parts availability, and on-site technical assistance when required. Now that we have introduced PowerOad as a company, let's move to the next section and look why battery energy storage systems are becoming such a critical element in today's energy markets. Up to now, we've talked about technology and capabilities, but the real question is, why is energy storage becoming so urgent? According to the 2025 Global Tipping Points report, the planet has already crossed the critical climate threshold. Around 1.2 degrees of global warming is considered a terminal tipping point for key ecosystems. Based on World Meteorological Organization data, we are already at roughly 1.4 degrees above pre-industrial levels. This means climate change is no longer a future risk, it is happening now. Ecosystems are under pressure and energy systems must transition faster to become cleaner, more flexible, and more resilient. Battery energy storage is one of the practical solutions that helps make this transition possible. This slide shows that not all tipping points are negative. In fact, some positive tipping points have already been crossed. Technologies like solar, PV, wind power, electrical vehicles, heat pumps, and battery storage are now being adopted at scale in leading markets. What it tells us that the energy transition is technically and economically feasible. It's already happening. The challenge is speed. To stay on track, global greenhouse gas emissions must be cut in half by 2030 and reach net zero by 2050. Battery energy storage plays a key role here because it connects all these technologies and make a renewable-based energy system reliable and flexible. Germany often acts as a leading indicator for the rest of Europe. With a rapidly increasing number of negative price hours, pure renewable generation without storage is becoming less attractive. Similar market dynamics are gradually emerging in other European countries, including Belgium. Policymakers and industry associations are clearly signaling the importance of energy storage. Targets such as 100 gigawatt hours of installed storage capacity in Germany by 2030 show that BESS is no longer seen as optional, but as a core infrastructure component. This slide brings us to a very concrete and recent example. In April 2025, we experienced one of the most significant power outages in recent European history. Large parts of Spain and Portugal were affected, and even parts of southern France briefly felt the impact. What this event clearly showed is how fragile modern energy systems can be. When power goes out, it immediately affects transport, events, businesses, and daily life. This is a strong reminder that reliable and resilient energy infrastructure is essential. Battery energy storage plays a key role here by supporting grid stability, providing backup power, and helping prevent immediate large-scale outages like this. The rapid rollout of electrical vehicles is driving the need for fast charging infrastructure. These charging stations require very high peak power, which often exceeds available grid capacity. Energy storage helps bridge this gap by enabling peak shaving and load balancing. Many fast charging projects are delayed or limited to grid saturation and access constraints. By integrating battery storage, developers can reduce grid dependency, accelerate deployment, and improve overall system stability. After looking at the market drivers, let's now focus on PowerOAD's product solutions and proven technology in real-world applications. This diagram illustrates a typical monitoring and control architecture, which each project is customized. PowerOAD systems are designed to integrate seamlessly with EMS platforms such as Eniris, allowing for advanced energy management and optimization. This is the Flex 215, an air-cooled outdoor all-in-one energy storage cabinet for standard CNI applications. The system integrates the battery and PCS into a signal enclosure, which simplifies system architecture, reduces DC cabling, and shortens installation and commissioning time. With an IP55 rated cabinet, it is suitable for all outdoor installations close to the point of connection or load. The battery uses CATL LFP cells, selected for their thermal stability, safety, and long life cycle. The system provides around 215 kilowatt hours of energy with a rated power of 105 kilowatts, making it well suited for applications such as peak shaving and load shifting. An important technical feature is the active balancing BMS, which improved usable capacity and limits cell imbalance over time, directly supporting longer battery lifetime. As an air-cooled system, this system is suited for moderate ambient conditions. The second one is the Flex 241 AIO, an air-cooled outdoor all-in-one energy storage cabinet designed for CNI applications that require higher energy density and enhanced safety features. Compared to the Flex 215, this system uses CALB cells with a 314 ampere hour capacity instead of 280, which increases the usable energy to approximately 241 kilowatt hours while keeping a similar power rating. As with the Flex 215, the battery system and PCS are fully integrated into a single IP55 rated cabinet, simplifying installation and reduces system complexity. The third one is the Flex 261, a liquid-cooled outdoor energy storage cabinet designed for small to mid-size CNI applications. The key difference compared to the Flex 215 and 241 is the liquid cooling system. By actively controlling cell temperature, the system keeps the temperature difference between cells within about 3 degrees Celsius. This is critical for applications with higher cycling frequency, higher ambient temperature, or more variable load profiles. The unit operates reliable across a wide temperature range from -30 to +50 degrees Celsius, making it suitable for harsh outdoor environments. It used also the 314 ampere hour cells from Caleb and delivers roughly 261 kilowatt hours at energy at higher system voltage, supporting stable and efficient operation. Also, this unit can be combined with a separate PCS. For example, other brands like maybe Solis or Solintec. So we can have a different inverter controlling this type of battery. This is then the 261 AIO all-in-one. The battery systems and PCS are fully integrated into a single cabinet, resulting in a very compact and simplified architecture. This is the new version using Caleb LFP cells with the 314 ampere hour capacity, providing around 261 kilowatt hours of energy. Compared to the non-AIO version, this unit offers higher power capability with a rate power of 125 kilowatts and short-term peak power up to 137.5 kilowatts. Liquid cooling allows precise thermal control, keeping the cell temperature differences within approximately 3 degrees Celsius. This unit is quite the same as the previous. This is the Flex 261 AIO3S, where the 3S stands for the POWEROAD using their own PMS, BMS, and PCS. So this is the first version with the POWEROAD PCS inside. Then over to the containerized products. This is an all-in-one container integrating the battery system with the Shint inverter operating at 800 volts AC. The 800-volt AC architecture allows direct connection to modern PV inverters and medium voltage transformer systems, reducing conversion stages, lowering losses, and simplifying system design. This is also a system that uses the 314 ampere hour LFP cells and is available in multiple energy configuration, scaling up to more than 3.3 megawatt hours per container. Then the last model is the Centric L20 5015. It's designed for large utility scale energy storage application. Unlike the AIO version, this system is delivered as a DC battery container with separate PCS. In most projects, this is combined with the Cinexcel 7050 kilowatt PCS, or alternatively with two 1250 kilowatt PCS units in parallel, depending on site layout and redundancy requirements. The container operates at high DC voltage up to 1500 volt, which makes it well suited for modern high power PCS and medium voltage grid connection. It also uses the KLab LFP cells, 314 ampere hours, and we can go on approximately till 5 megawatt hours per container. Liquid cooling ensures tight thermal control, keeping cell temperature differences within about 3 degrees Celsius. This is essential at this energy and power level to maintain performance, safety, and lifetime. Delivered as a factory assembled and tested unit, the Centric L20 5015 offers flexibility in PCS selection while maintaining a robust utility-grade battery platform. This slide summarizes POWEROAD's overall system architecture and integration philosophy. Across the full portfolio, from cabinet systems to large containers, POWEROAD focuses on high integration with minimal external interfaces. The systems are designed as plug-and-play building blocks, which significantly reduces wiring complexity, commissioning time, and on-site engineering effort. A key element is the in-house BMS, developed and controlled by POWEROAD. This BMS is built with a multi-layer protection concept and provides detailed real-time system data. Combined with active balancing, this ensures stable operation, optimal cell utilization, and long lifetime and a longer lifetime. At system level, POWEROAD uses a unified control interface through the power management system. This allows consistent control logic across kilowatt-hour scale cabinets up to multi-megawatt-hour container systems, and simplifies integration with higher-level EMS platforms. Because the same design principles are applied across the entire range, customers can scale from small CNI systems to utility-scale installation without changing architecture. In practice, this means fewer surprises during engineering, faster deployment, and more predictable long-term operation. POWEROAD products have been installed in extreme environments like Mount Everest, Nordic countries within the Arctic Circle, high temperature and high salt spray environments. These four significant projects exemplifies our commitment to delivering high-performance energy storage systems that meet diverse needs and drive sustainable growth. By end of 2025, we installed over 600 projects worldwide. With an extensive experience in C&I sector, our products have demonstrated outstanding adaptability and flexibility across diverse environments, from factories and farms to parking lots and office rooftops. At last, I got a small video to show. So I want to thank everyone for listening, and I want to thank also Bart for letting us have this webinar. And I'm going to give back my word to Bart now.
Yeah, thank you very much. You as well, Jelle. Thank you very much for your part in this presentation. So yeah, in the meantime, I did not receive any questions, so probably we, yeah, if I receive some questions, please let me know. I can also answer these questions afterwards as well, together with Jelle. So all your questions will be addressed afterwards. But in the meantime, I don't see any questions, so everything should be clear, I think.
Yes.
So well, so well done, Jelle.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, for further questions, reach out to us. But thank you very much for joining this session. We will also post this video later on our socials as well. Yeah, and once again, thank you very much.